statistics shows that Africa has like 60% of the world arid land. So definitely we're supposed to be producing for the rest of the world. But that's not really the case because like our total factor of productivity is actually below one. Right? I grew up in a semi-urban environment and use agricultural product. But the excess of it, we actually either take it to church or give it out. So I've been thinking about like, okay, how about like if we can actually have these things digitized in such a way that we can actually find markets for them.
Right.
We want to inspire a lot of young people to actually get into agriculture because they know that there is actually market, like the risk agriculture to some extent and make it lucrative. Adedayodone. I'm one of the co-founder of DAYDONE. So I have a background. I'm a graduate of University of Ibadan. I did geoscience at University of Ibadan. Then during my years in University of Ibadan, I started a logistics solution for co-members, like for my graduates, my fellow colleagues. Looking at Nigerian system, which I graduated from like every year, and then it was pre-pandemic, so it was quite rapid. We moved like graduates from their schools to their NYC campground, and they're going to one place in the state.
Okay,
so we used like a software for that. So that's what we did then once the pandemic came and tilted that a bit. But like right from there too, because NYC is not a regular thing, we've been looking at a problem that is big enough that we can solve. That's what led me into what we are doing at DAYDONE. So basically what DAYDONE does, DAYDONE is an agri-commerce platform that brings fun product and experience.
Okay.
That's doorstep of every customer. So we're a B2B platform currently, and we are looking to also evolve and having some consumer facing to it. So how we started DAYDONE, for DAYDONE, like it's been a problem of myself growing up, where we actually like I grew up in a semi-urban environment and use agricultural product. But the excess of it, we actually either take it to church or give it out. So I've been thinking about like, okay, how about like if we can actually have these things digitized in such a way that we can actually find markets for them.
Right.
So when a friend of mine was not talking to me about the opportunities in the rural area and bringing them to the urban area and actually having margins, like it connected. And I also have, during my service, I also have a background also being a merchant on Jumia. So it has given me those exposure, and I was like, why can't we put a layer of e-commerce on this? And that's what we set out.
Fantastic. Thank you for telling us a story, and you've told us the interesting story behind what made you establish a business. Maybe we would just like to know, how do you come up with the name DAYDONE? What's the inspiration?
We actually are building like an e-commerce platform where we can actually deliver to merchants that same day. So that's the name. But the second inspiration behind the name DAYDONE. So like I came across an acronym in the Bible of hospital where like DAYDONE. So I'm a Christian. Like so from that I changed the dawn. The dawn in the Bible is DAWN. I changed that to dawn. So that's where.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. So in what industry does your company operate? And what's the main motivating factor? Okay, I think you've addressed the main motivating factor for establishing your business, but in what industry does your company operate? Just to educate us about that.
Yeah, we operate in the agri-tech space. Okay. We are building software for farmers so that they can be able to get access to their digital access to markets all across Africa.
That's great.
Because, and to talk more about why we are doing what we are doing, like Africa and like Nigeria, we are an agri-hub. Like statistics shows that Africa has like 60% of the world arid land. So definitely we're supposed to be producing for the rest of the world. But that's not really the case because like our total factor of productivity is actually below one, which is like an index that they use to measure the productivity of countries in many African countries in below one. So we're not producing to our maximum capacity yet. So with our software delivering access to market, we want to inspire a lot of young people to actually get into agriculture because they know that there is actually market, like the risk agriculture to some extent, and make it lucrative.
That's interesting. Thank you. So as you will recall, the first Accelerator program tends to address the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And we're very keen on this to ensure that we provide equal opportunities to everyone around the world and grow SMEs. So which of the SDG goals would you say your company is addressing?
Yeah, we address like about 4 SDG goals. SDG goal 1, SDG 2, 3, and 12. 1 is no poverty. Then we also address zero hunger. Then we also address SDG 12, responsible consumption. Then SDG 3, a good health and well-being. So those are the SDG goals that we play.
Thank you. And does your product provide service? Does your company provide service solutions to small and medium enterprises? And how do you do this? It looks like so.
So for small and medium enterprises, we've been able to support about 800 businesses. Some of them are big business, some of them, or majority of them, are small businesses, retailers.
Right.
So yeah, so we like,
Fantastic.
yeah. So what we are doing, and we're actually keen with the Microsoft goals of like reaching millions of like of SMEs. So that's what we're doing, helping them. Instead of a retailer having to go to the farm to go and get his product himself, with DAYDONE we can aggregate a lot of and do the logistics for the farmer, so for the retailer. So that way they don't need to actually leave their business.
That's great. This is very, very good. You're bringing access to markets for the farmers. Thank you. So let's come to talk about your first experience. As you are aware, you are one of the few selected 12 startups out of over 800 applicants in the first Accelerator Pioneer Series, the first spring series that just concluded. And we'd just like to talk about that. We'd like to know your experience and, so how do you get to know about the first Accelerator program? And, when you were notified, how did you feel? And maybe you can also address, were your expectations met? What were your experience with the masterclass, the facilitators, and the staff? Tell us about it.
Yeah, First Accelerator program for us was like a validation to what we are building. Yeah. I came across First Accelerator on BC4A, and I've been part of the community. So, and after seeing the application, putting our application and got in, it was nice knowing that we're one of the 12 like startups to actually be selected for it, and especially the courses that we went through, our 12 weeks or 12 weeks acceleration program was really great and awesome.
That's great. We're very excited to learn about this, and as the first accelerator program, the acceleration program, has it helped with moving your business forward, achieving further traction? What do you say?
Yeah. So for the first accelerator thing, we actually about 3 of my team members were able to participate in it. So it was really a huge thing, especially in the business development side. We were able to have even after the training, having in-house discussion about these are the things we are learning, how to implement them. And during the program has actually also helped our company to also get more exposure, have more visibility from investors.
Right. Okay, so given that you provide an aggregator platform, platform that is aggregating farmers, we want to know, how would you describe the experience of running your solution on Microsoft Azure Cloud? Are you familiar with that? How would you describe your experience of running your solution?
Yeah, that's part of the benefit of actually entering Flatmass. We're able to have access to a lot of tools, and thank God for the Microsoft partnership to a lot of tools that we actually were onboarded on the Founder Hub platform, and we are one of the Microsoft startups. And from there, Azure is one of the tools that we're actually using to actually scale our operation. Before we use shared hosting, and from there we are moving our web files, our digital assets all into Azure and using that mean. So that's been great. Okay,
that's great. So you're leveraging. Are you able to leverage, or do you plan to leverage artificial intelligence in your solution? And if you have started, as the Flatmax technical team supported that journey, update?
Yeah. So with the AI aspect, we've had several meetings with the Flopmas team, looked at use cases, and we are working on like in fact we're able to discuss about collecting of the data and many other like developing like AI into the system that we are currently building. So it's an area that that we are really, because many things in the agri space is being done by human intelligence, and those intelligence we actually like gathering those data and like and digitizing them for a better use and model. Yeah.
That's really great. So, coming back to the fast experience, what would you say are your key takeaways from the program? Would you have any advice for the founders? And, some words for fast Flapmax and Microsoft team,
Yeah. For the fast accelerator experience, one of my key takeaway was the fact that we're actually able to meet like other founders building like the cohort, the fact of being in a cohort space where we actually have other people actually doing stuff like building stuff too. It's actually like one of the key takeaway. Then like the accelerator also provided us access to industry experts like that comes for the classes, and also they're also able to provide us like a mentor to that actually has experience, and we've actually learned a huge number of things from him and from the experience. So
That's
we can
really
really say
great.
thank you to the Flapmas team.
How long has your brand been existing? And has there been a major announcement, especially now and maybe post fast acceleration? Tell us about that.
So we launched our brand 2020, January 2020,
Fantastic.
and we have really grown because like it was pandemic year, so some businesses are not fully in operation, but like
Right.
a lot of food business that we support, some of them were still running then,
Right.
which we actually like we're able to like impact a lot of people or provide incentives for some churches, like help with the supply of that directly from the farm, and assist a lot of farmers because some of their supply chain in the past, some of them are not working anymore, that we just have to come in. So it was the right timing for us. Yeah, post Flapmas, yes.
Yeah.
We were able to get grants from Ministry of Egypt Ministry of Information and Technology, and the grant has like post Flapmas, the grant has really been helping us actually to actually scale, to scale, and with Flapmas still, we're also looking at we're already talking with investors and looking at fundraising.
That's fantastic. Thank you for letting us know this. Your journey has been quite inspiring, and I'm excited to be part of it. So let's come to ecosystem, the startup ecosystem in Africa, and let's discuss a few things about it. So, how will you rate the startup ecospace in Nigeria and Africa as a whole? Any challenges you would like us to know about?
Yeah, for the ecosystem, tech ecosystem, it has been great. Like actually, when I was starting into my journey, I don't even know that there's an ecosystem that exists. Like majority of my learning then, when I was thinking of entrepreneurship and looking at problems around me, was from like from outside the country. But like the past like 2 years, I've actually like exposed myself to a lot of things being going on in the ecosystem,
Right.
and people practicing. So I feel the Nigerian African ecosystem, we've had a lot of like fintech successes, and it's time that we start building like another layer on those ones. And I think we've started seeing it, but we started seeing it with the logistics space, and but we need to see more and more and more of that. Yeah, that's my takeaway.
That's fantastic. Okay, can you talk to us about how you're leveraging your self-motivation, grit, and the mentorship networks to address some of the challenges you're facing in your company as it is now?
Yeah. So the mentorship and like our network, we've been leveraging it in a lot of ways. And one of the key ones is like we've been able to like work with our mentor and set up our advisory board. Those that we actually like we took weeks and like examine some candidates, and like with his mentorship we're actually like able to like figure out who are the best people to actually work with, and actually we started reaching out to them and setting up something around that space. So that will actually like accelerate a lot of our goals, open doors for us in more markets, because that's key in this, because as we're doing that, we're also doing that for the farmers that are working with us.
That's great. So where do you hope to be in the next 3 to 5 years as a business?
Yeah, in the next 3 to 5 years, like we have a lot of milestones that we're looking at. Yeah, let me just say in the next in the next 1 year, we're looking to work with 5,000 farmers. Currently, we are working with 1,200, and we're also looking to expand our farmer database to northern Nigeria, because a lot of the agricultural product that we consume actually comes from there. We're also looking at the operation. Then we're looking to open distribution center too in other regions. Currently, we serve 5 states in Nigeria. In other regions where we will actually be able to serve them better. And because what we want to do is we want the farmers to be able to serve everyone across Africa, just like I discussed the other time. Africa can actually feed the world, and that's what we are in this doing here.
Thank you so much. It's been so great speaking with you, and wish you the very best in your journey. We're quite impressed with the milestones you've achieved, and we know with Flatmax, Microsoft, and all the stakeholders in the ecosystem, your journey is going to be greater and greater. Thank you. It's been a great time.
Thanks a lot.